If you're just tuning in for the first time, I hope you're having the best day you possibly can. This is actually the third video I've posted today, with the first one being a silver giveaway where I'm giving away over 8 ounces in total of unique silver prizes. First place will actually get that coin set in the bottom left corner, and if you're a content creator with at least 50 subscribers, you can actually enter to win that Alaskan silver proof set at the top as well. But if you've already seen those two videos and you're actually watching this one from the notification, I just really want to take a second to appreciate you for continuing to support this channel after so many years. Or if you're a new subscriber, then just welcome aboard to the channel, and I will be posting content at least 3 or 4 times a week, if not daily, all depending on how much inspiration and just how many good ideas actually come to me. Something I want to avoid doing that I actually did do in the past, unfortunately, was just rehashing ideas over and over again. But not to waste any more time here, sorry for the unnecessary rambling, just to get to the topic of today's video. This is actually for anyone who's coming into silver that might potentially have a mindset that is not only going to end up leaving them disappointed, but like I've talked about time and time again, will actually end up leading to them resenting precious metals, because ultimately speaking, they're going to buy into the hype and actually buy silver when premiums are higher and the spot price is higher than silver traditionally is, and that's just going to lead them to actually losing a little bit on their investment instead of getting what they could have gotten out of silver if they came into it with the right mindset to begin with. So just to not have any of that issue come up in the first place for you, what you have to do when it comes to silver investing, unless you're in a state of extreme hyperinflation where fiat currency that you currently are using is losing value so quickly that preserving your wealth through silver, or preserving like all of your wealth through silver, excuse me, is going to make the most sense to do. If you're not in a situation like that and the economy is at least relatively stable, or you're still relying on fiat currency very majorly to actually support yourself, and you can only invest smaller amounts into silver as a traditional person is going to face, well, then you just have to actually treat silver as a hedge against inflation and a way to preserve as much wealth as you can, not just for yourself, but for generations in your family to come potentially, because ultimately speaking, through good dollar cost averaging, which means buying silver at times when it's not being hyped up, actually buying during the dips, trying to find ways to actually avoid paying high premiums on silver, those will actually be the ways to obtain the most amount of silver possible and therefore preserve the most amount of your wealth possible, which over time is going to allow you to hedge against inflation. And you have to remember that silver is not the end-all be-all of preserving your wealth or especially investing your money. It's not going to be a way to actually make as much money as you could through wise stock investing, but it's also not going to be a way to lose your money if you actually invest intelligently, and it will be a pretty surefire way to actually preserve your wealth against inflation. If you look at silver charts that are not adjusted for inflation, you will see that good dollar cost averaging generally has allowed people to preserve their wealth much greater than actually leaving their money in just a savings account. So it is a really safe way to actually preserve your wealth rather than having to take any kind of risk if you're uninformed about markets such as the stock market, and especially cryptocurrencies that are extremely volatile. Now, I do believe in long-term projects, especially Ethereum. I actually have started staking weekly buys into Ethereum 2.0 on Coinbase, and obviously I'm not being paid to say that. If I was being paid by Coinbase, I would not be getting like 20 views on this video. But obviously I need to make it clear that in no way I'm saying you should go out and do that. It's just a project I happen to believe in. But with all of that aside, I think the purpose of this video is just to really say that, yeah, I think the purpose of the video I made is, no. Obviously the purpose of this video is just to really say that silver, in my opinion at least, is not to in any way grow your money substantially over time unless you see a situation like fiat currencies collapsing, or it could be a way to protect yourself from hyperinflation, and that would be a situation where you really should go all in, I believe. But beyond that, I really think it's just a way to protect as much auxiliary income as you can from inflation over time that is inevitable, especially in currencies like the US dollar, the euro, any major fiat currency really that is inflated over time. And no matter how minor that inflation is, I think that smart dollar cost averaging, following the market, which, you know, that really comes with the dollar cost averaging, and then beyond that, actually finding people over time who can really get you silver that's a much lower premium than the major companies, or just finding ways to buy such large quantities that you can get those low premiums. Whatever you are able to do, I think that is going to be able to be the best way to actually preserve your wealth a little bit and even potentially grow it a bit over time, especially if you're again buying at times when silver is in lower demand, and then you're actually able to sell it, or at the very least sell a little bit of it if you need to at times when the demand actually goes up and you can bring in a higher premium yourself. Although that's not necessarily something that I would think always makes sense to do, or it's something that you should think about doing unless you're into more collectible silver that over time can grow huge premiums. But with all of that aside, I do hope you understand what I was trying to explain in this video, which is that silver, especially at its core function, if you're buying low premium bullion, it's nothing more than a way to preserve your wealth from inflation, which inflation is something that causes your money to actually go down in value. It actually decreases your money's value much faster than interest rates will increase your money's value in terms of the average savings account from most banks. So realistically speaking, investing in silver is a smarter way to actually preserve your wealth than just putting it in a banking account. Even if you think that the interest is going to actually offset inflation, it is not going to ever match it unless you're from one of those online banks that still offers a huge interest rate, although I've seen those seem to be going down as well. So I really want to see what happens with that. I think the pandemic's probably sent a lot of people to online banks so they can be a lot more uncompetitive with their rates than they used to be. They had to probably convince a lot more people than they do now to get on there. But with that all being said, that is truly it for this video now, and I appreciate you watching till the end. If you did find yourself enjoying the information, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and actually dropping a comment on it. All these things can actually help the video reach more people in the YouTube algorithm. But that is truly it for this one now. Peace.